because the material is with you, right? Once you register, you have a material with you.
Yes, sir. We have.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have to talk to you on the foreign exchange market, then followed by the uh, international trade theory. Uh, yeah, foreign exchange. Let's look at foreign exchange, then we'll talk about the market. Foreign exchange. What is foreign exchange? One currency value is compared with that of the other country's currency value, right? Now, if I give how many rupees, I will be able to get $1. How many rupees will be able to purchase £1, right? So one currency is measured against the other currency, other country's currency. Okay. Now you are exchanging one currency and taking or receiving another currency. Now, this we must know, we must understand this concept for the reason when we are talking about buying and selling at international platform, then we will be paid in the international currencies and we may have to pay at international currencies. And when the payments and receipts are to be carried on, there is an exchange, right? Now we have earned $1,500 for a particular service. Now, how much that is equivalent to Indian rupees? We must know that because the cost that we have incurred is in Indian rupees, right? And we may be getting in dollars that, and we have to, assess what is the cost incurred for that service, right? So let's say the cost incurred is 1,000 and 1,500 is the, the surplus available to me. Then that's a profit. Okay, that's a profit. I have 50% as profit. 50% profit I have earned on 1,000. So the selling price is, okay, 1,500. Fine. So this 1,500 and 500 are in dollar terms. Dollar terms. Now you have to convert into Indian rupees, domestic country's currency. Okay. Then only you will be able to plan for your production facilities. You'll be planned for the procurement of the materials. You'll be planning for many other things, logistics, okay, supply chain, and so many other things. So therefore, understanding the market for the foreign exchange is very important. Okay. And if you look at the first paragraph, that's an introduction. The foreign exchange markets are the market that is decentralized worldwide. Okay. And who are the parties, players involved in that? Who are the parties or players involved in that? You will see central banks, you will see commercial banks, you will see brokers, you will see dealers, what is this? UAE exchange. Okay. Or, all commercial banks deal with this foreign exchange. They're all, Western Union money transfer. They're all brokers, dealers in the foreign exchange. They'll take all your foreign countries' currencies and give you whatever currency that you want, and give you your rupees. Let's say you have earned dollars, they'll take your dollars and give you your rupees, right? You had to make payments. They'll take your rupees and give you the country, the dollars or the pounds that you require, right? They're all dealers. Then central bank, as you know, is a regulator of all the money market operations, right? For India, it is Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Now, then you have, for then you have, exchanges, foreign exchanges. Okay. The exchanges just like to deal with the shares, just like to deal with the goods. You also have exchanges, currency exchanges, right? Major currency exchanges are, okay, they are in Amsterdam and London, and they are in New York, okay, Singapore, Mumbai, Hong Kong, and other cities, major cities like even Tokyo, right? Now, what are the functions of these exchange markets? Now, one, it is, it is providing you a platform. It is providing you to platform. Okay, you can transfer. Okay, you can transfer the money. You can buy the goods and services. You can sell the goods and services. Right? There's a platform, and it helps you to, it helps in price discoveries of various currencies on a continued basis. When you're into foreign trade market or foreign trade business, what happens is you keep talking about, you keep watching about, if you're earning dollars, right? All the time you try to measure against the dollar, your rupees, how the rupee is increasing or strengthening or weakening. Now, this is what most of our NRIs do, right? What do they do? What do they do? They will be, uh, you know, they will be all the time looking how the rupee goes down. Weaker the rupee, okay, weaker the rupee, and their dollars can give more rupees for each dollar. So all the NRIs expect the rupee value to go down. And all those people who want to import goods from other countries, they expect the rupee to be strengthened and dollars to be weakened, right? So different players have different expectations, right? So whatever it is, you can have a continuous track of, the fluctuations in the exchange rates that's provided by this market, foreign exchange markets, right? And you also can, let's say you have, $50,000 and 70,000 pounds because of your foreign trade with these two countries. You don't want to take risk of fluctuations in these currencies. So what will you do? You try to hedge against these fluctuations. You don't want to take risks. You want to avoid the risk. So when you want to avoid risk, what will you do? You will go for the hedging strategy. Okay, you get the dollars. As you get the dollars, you put somewhere, okay, where you will get a fixed, you will lock up the exchange rate. You will lock the exchange rate. That means even if the exchange rate goes adverse for you, you will get the same exchange rate which you have agreed upon with the dealer, right? And this is called forward rate agreement. This is part of derivatives. Okay, this is called derivatives. This is currency derivatives. Forward rate agreement, the rate at which you will be locking for future is forward rate agreement. Then you will be getting the same rate. Okay, so they're called currency derivatives, and there are many other strategies of currency. That you have swaps, you have options, and many other strategies, products available under currency derivatives. So if you take up the finance specialization, you will come to know this. Then it provides the companies as well as the individuals, okay, willing to take risk. Okay, and you can also trade with the currency. If you are a risk taker, okay, you will be engaging yourselves in the currency exchange trade, right? Then let's look into foreign currency and foreign exchange. Foreign currency and foreign exchange. Okay, foreign exchange market, foreign currency, foreign exchange. Foreign exchange is, foreign exchange is the bills, the letter of credit, the traveler's checks, okay, which are issued, okay, or denominated and payable necessarily in the foreign currency. Okay, it is including the currency. It is sometimes what we understand is, what we perceive is only currency is currency exchange. We are exchanging only against the currency. Letter of credit also is included in this, because letter of credit is money. When you look at check, when check is issued, a check means money. That's it, right? Whether there's a balance in the account or not, that's not material. Okay, a check means money. If I give you a check, it means I have a balance in the account, right? If you don't have balance in the account, what happens? You'll be behind bars, as simple as that. Okay. So when there is a check issued, it means there is a balance in the account that is equal to currency, right? So likewise, you have letters of credit, travelers, checks, and so forth. Then foreign currency. Okay. Foreign currency is the currency of other countries. Okay. Foreign exchange, foreign currency, then market. It's an arrangement, I think Ruxana or somebody said it is a place where people come and buy and sell. No, you don't need to come anywhere. You can be as is where condition, and you can do anything that you want. Means you can buy, you can sell your services or goods. It's an arrangement. You can buy the foreign currency, you can sell the foreign currency sitting at your place. Okay. Then quotations, foreign exchange quotations, quotes. It's simply quotes. How two currencies are referred verbally will tell you one is, which one is the base and which one will be the, quote means I started with the beginning. I started with the sentence. Exchange it is the value of other countries' currency against your currency. Okay. How many dollars will you get? Okay, for these many rupees, or these many rupees, how many dollars you'll be getting? All right. Now, if you take a base currency, okay, if you take a base currency, the base currency can be rupees if you are thinking in terms of India. Now, you will be checking if you're going abroad, okay, maybe for tourism or maybe for a business trip. Every country's currency you compare with Indian rupees, not with any other currency, right? What is that? It's a quote, foreign exchange quote, right? It's a quote. The price of one currency of country in terms of another country's currency is exchange. Okay, currency exchange. In other words, it is a rate at which two currencies are traded for one another, as simple as that. First two lines. I'm just telling you in page 99, I am in page 99, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And yeah, I just want you to look into spot market. Okay, bid and ask, right? Bid and ask. Then, yeah, bid and ask, right? Then have a look at purchasing power parity. Okay, purchasing power parity, right? Just look at these three. I just want you to look at, okay, spot, bid and ask. Can you see this here? Spot, bid and ask. Okay, then purchasing power parity. I just want you to look at these three. Okay, these three before I just proceed to speak. Okay, I'm giving you 10 minutes time. Okay, 10 minutes time, and then keep asking me for any doubts, because I'll just I will be connecting into my other PowerPoint. Okay, meanwhile you just go through this. Okay, can you please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you complete? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you complete?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You need some more time or?
No, not required, sir.
Okay. What spot? What is spot there? What you have read there?
At any point in principle, across places and across banks, spot exchange rate for any currency must be same.
You go to Axis Bank, you know, your son is going to America. Okay.
Yeah.
And he needs $3,000. You go to bank and then get $3,000 by paying some rupees, whatever you have in your pocket bag, right? On the spot, whatever is the rate, you're just fixing it, right? And opposite to spot, what is opposite to spot? Future. Opposite to spot is future. Okay, future market. Okay, future. A future is arrangement. Future. Okay, forwards and futures are same. You are entering into contract for future. Okay, agreement for future. I will be coming after 2 months for $3,000. You will tell to Axis Bank, and today's rate is 72 rupees. I want, okay, at 72 rupees. If you want after 2 days, we are not sure about this same rate, right? So if you want the same rate, then you have to pay a certain amount. You may call it commission, you may call it exchange commission, or you may call it exchange, fee. Whatever fee, whatever name you may put, but that is an extra, compensation paid for locking the exchange rate for future agreement. Okay, this is called as future, and actually this is forward agreement, is forward agreement. Now, if it is systematized, streamlined, then it becomes futures. Okay, that's called futures contract. Forward contract, you and I can do. There is no, binding on the parties. It is not binding on the party. There is no proof. There's no proof. I said, but where is the guarantee that I said? Where is the proof that I said that I'll pay you $3,000 at 72 rupees per dollar? There's no proof. I can avoid it or I can evade it. But when it is systematized, okay, more particularly through an exchange, then that is a futures, forwards, futures. Okay, spot you have given me. Will anybody take up the next point, what you have read?
Bid or ask spread of bank.
Okay, bid. What is the bid? Can you read it or whatever? I wish that you speak out, in the way that you understood it. But if you cannot do that, nothing wrong in reading also.
So bid or ask spread of bank is that a bank can quote two quotes, that is a bid which we buy, and one is ask, that is sell. The bid should be less than the ask quote.
Okay, that's very good. Did you understand it? I'll explain to you, but any of you, could you understand what she said? Yes, sir?
Yes, understand.
Okay. Any of you have the, knowledge of village? Have you ever been to village, a village culture? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
I think you have it, if I'm not wrong. If you have it, those who are in the city, you don't know. But those who are in the villages, you are very much aware of this. Okay. Maybe when you're a small child, right? And even now it happens. In the village, there are all pulses produced, na? Green gram, red gram, okay, black gram. These are all produced, okay, paddy. Now, if you go to a shop, okay, if you go to a grocery shop, what is that? Kirana shop, and say that I want 1 kilogram of black gram. Okay, what is that black gram? Minimal 1 kilogram I want, you say. And that fellow says, yeah, it is 90 rupees. 90 rupees, okay. Now I have 10 kilograms of minimulu. At what rate will you take? Yeah, if I had to buy it, I'll buy it 70 rupees. What? Yeah, I'll buy it 70 rupees. And you are selling it 90 rupees to me? Yes. I sell it 90 rupees. I buy it 70 rupees. What's your problem? My problem is that you are making 20 rupees per each kilogram. Right? That is your thinking problem. That's all my business is. I buy at a lower price and I sell at higher price. And I survive on that. My business survives on that. Okay. So this is, bid and ask. The same way, if you go to bank, you will find the board, that, what is that? That the scrollings will be displayed in the lobby of any bank, right? We buy currency of so-and-so country. We buy dollars, marks, yens, okay, rubles, at this price, and we sell at this price. Okay. Bid and ask. We sell at this price, we buy at this price, right? Bid price is different. Okay, ask price is different, right? The difference is their profit, the bank's profit or the dealer's profit. Okay, bid and ask. Now let's go to the next one. Yes, sir. What is next?
Purchasing power parity.
Purchasing power parity. Okay. Who is reading this?
So this is Rebecca here.
Rebecca, yes.
So according to me, through this, I understand that purchasing power parity is the exchange rates between the currencies, and that will be the equal, which is same amount.
Okay. Right. Anybody else would like to add on what she has said? Would you please add?
That country, which is country is country rupee purchasing power, sir.
Sir, I didn't understand.
Purchasing power of that country rupee or something currency.
Okay. Now let me simplify it further. Okay, when it is currency, you're feeling more confused. Okay, let it not be currency. Nothing to do with currency. Simply purchasing power parity. What does it mean? No. There's no context of currency. We're not talking about currency. Okay, for a time being, just set it aside.
Okay, sir.
What is purchasing power parity? Anybody can take up. Okay,
it gives only one price.
It gives only one price.
One price.
Oh, that's great. A good attempt. Yeah, I'll explain. Go ahead. Anybody would like to add on to this? One price. There's a hint given by Rebecca. Rebecca, yes.
Yes, sir.
So Miss Rebecca has given a hint. Okay, one price. That's a hint. Anything more you would like to add?
I don't know, sir.
No problem. Anybody else, I'm saying. Yeah, I want the participation of others. And I'm sorry for joining late. Ruxana, thank you so much for the reminder. I'll be thankful if you can call me, okay? If I'm late by 5 minutes, I'll join before the time. But if I'm late by any reason, please just call me, okay? Then immediately I'll make it.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Anybody else?
Tomorrow is our last class, sir.
Tomorrow is the last class for us?
Yes, sir.
That's it?
That's it, sir. They have given schedule up to tomorrow only.
Tomorrow, Yeah, after that another schedule will come, huh?
I don't know, sir. Maybe they did not, till that time, they are not declared.
Okay, only tomorrow's plan. Okay. Right. Purchasing power parity. Anybody else? Okay, now let me tell you this way. Okay. Purchasing power parity. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us say, boys or gentlemen, I will be asking. Just as we were walking, I just completed my work for the day and I was getting ready for your session. Then there was sudden call, and during the discussion, one of my colleagues was saying, so and so uses 42,000 rupees worth belt. Okay, a belt. No, belt means the waist belt. The belt that is used for the pant. Okay, that is 40. His belt is 42,000. I was telling, oh, this gentleman, he lives the life to the fullest extent. He knows how to make money and also how to enjoy legally. Okay, it is not just cruelly. Some people live cruelly, but this man not only lives by himself like that, and he also takes care of his staff, his employees so well, right? So he lives that way. Now, if 42,000 is the belt cost in India, how much would the same belt cost in London? Okay, when you convert the same quality belt, the same quality buckle, if you convert that into Indian rupees, how much that would cost in London? I'm clear in what I'm speaking. How much would it cost? How much would it cost in London? Okay.
London is currency euro, sir?
No, London currency is a pound. London currency is pound. Okay?
Pound, okay.
Right.
Okay.
When you look at pound, okay, equivalent to rupees. Equivalent to rupees.
Rupees. Yes, sir.
Equivalent to rupees. You can convert that into rupees. When you convert that into rupees, will you have to pay same as 42,000, or will you pay more than 42,000, or will you pay less than 42,000?
It should be exactly 42,000, sir.
It should be exactly 42,000. Then there is a parity, as Rebecca said. When that is not happening, then there is no parity, na? There is no parity.
No power of purchase. Yes.
There is no parity. The purchasing power, of money in India is 42,000 for the same belt. Okay. The pound purchasing power, okay, the money purchasing power, okay, even if you convert into Indian rupees, is it the same? If it is not same, then there is no parity. There is no parity. If it is same, there is a parity. Okay. Now, if there is no parity, then the shipping of goods take place from one country to another country. Shipping of goods takes place from one country to another country. Look at this. You know this, na? Liquor ban in Telangana.
Right, sir. Right.
Liquor ban. As a result, what happened? As a result, what happened with the I'm sorry, not in Telangana, Andhra, right? It was banned in Andhra for some time. For some time, or maybe the price is high in Andhra, 3 times the actual price. Something is there. Okay, so what is happening? People are smuggling these liquor bottles into Andhra. Okay, at the border districts, at Khammam district and Nalgonda district. Okay, and at Kurnool district, people are, they're smuggling from Telangana to Andhra. Why? A bottle costs here maybe 200, there it costs 600. Okay, so this fellow, he will buy here for 200 and make a margin of 100 and he sells the bottle in Andhra, okay, in Andhra for 300. For that fellow, what he's thinking, he's saving 300. For this fellow, he is making 100. Okay, for that fellow, he's saving, and for this fellow, he is making, right? So, what is happening? There is no parity of prices. The same bottle costs here 200, while it costs in Andhra 600. Likewise, even in case of countries, it happens the same. In many goods are being imported. Why? Because for the same product, what you pay here much more is very less there in those countries. A beer may cost here, 100 rupees, but it may cost just 20 rupees. Okay, I'm telling when it is converted. Okay.
When it is converted, it may be costing only 20 rupees, right? I'm not talking about the rupee, pounds or dollars or marks. Okay, so when there is a parity, let's come back to the conclusion. When there is a parity, there is no international trade. When there is a mismatch in the parity, okay, of the prices between two countries, then there will be an international trade. Okay, so let us now apply the same concept to currency. Let's say you have dollars in your hand, you have rupees in your hand, or let's say not dollars, you have Pakistani rupees, Indian rupees. You have pesos, Philippine peso, and Indian rupee. How many pesos will be able to buy? How many pesos will you be able to buy to get $10? $10. How many pesos will you have to pay for buying $10? Okay. And similarly, how many rupees, Indian rupees, will you have to pay for getting $10? Right? If it is same, then there is a parity. Currency parity is there. If it is not there, then what will you do? Let us say you need to pay less amount of pesos for procuring, the dollars, $10, for purchasing $10, for buying $10. Okay. Then what you'll do, you will compare your rupee exchange against the peso, right? If it is compatible, first you will convert your rupees into pesos, and with pesos you will buy the dollars, right? So this is what happens. Now, all this simple layman's understanding that I have explained, understanding that I have given you now, can be put into equations and worked out, right? So this is purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity. This purchasing power parity, we can apply not only for currency, we can apply for international, we can apply for the products, goods and services. Purchasing power parity is one of the important theories of international trade. You will get a damn sure question, okay, in this area, in this particular area. And I want you to scroll through, your material. Okay, material. Then go to international trade theories. International trade theories. Are you there with me? Or am I
Yes,
disconnected?
sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm there with you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
International trade theories, I think 117 or 118.
117 page. Sir.
Yeah. International trade. Yeah, international trade. All right. Yeah. Look at this. You don't have
Yes, sir.
purchasing power parity. Yeah, theory of comparative cost, theory of absolute advantage. Yeah, theory of, first one is theory of mercantilism. What is this? What is this? Under this, uh, yeah. Under this, what happens is, Nizam is very good example of this theory, right? And if you want to have name and fame, okay, Nizam was one of the richest rulers of his time, okay. And if you want such name and fame, what you do, you would like to tie up with other countries, okay, in terms of not only diplomatic, you will also enter into international trade. That's what Mr. Modi is doing, our prime minister. He is trying to connect to the whole world. Okay, that's what he did in the first tenure. He toured all over the world to connect the countries with India, okay, for business opportunities, right? I don't know how far he is successful, but he has attempted, endeavored, right? And this is mercantilism, right? And this is rejected for so many reasons, okay. This is, with one logic is, this is only for your luxury, for your enjoyment, nothing else, okay. It is all trash. Some people said that and ruled out. Then there is a theory of absolute cost advantage. This is proposed by Adam Smith. This is what purchasing power parity, right? Now look at this, read this, okay? Read this first paragraph. Read this first paragraph. Yeah, who will read it? Just first paragraph.
Adam Smith strongly opposed the theory of mercantilism and advocated cause of free trade. He
Go ahead, sir.
argued that free trade gives that advantage of division of labor and specialization in the international trade. It is the central point of absolute cost advantage theory. Adam Smith says that trade between two nations is based on absolute advantage. When one nation is more efficient than another in the production of one commodity, but is less efficient than the other nation in producing a second commodity, then both nations can again, by each specializing in the production of its absolute advantage and exchanging part of its output with the other nation for the commodity of its absolute disadvantage. This process helps in utilizing the resources in the most efficient way, and the output of both products will rise. Such an increase in the output measures the gains from specialization in production available to be shared between the two nations through trade.
Enough, sir. I'm very strong in IT, information technology. The software, I'm strong in software as a country, India. Okay. And the Korean companies, okay, all these Southeast Asian companies are very strong in hardware. They're strong in hardware, and I'm strong in software. Okay, if I try to make, this is what I told you earlier. If I try to make a calculator, it will cost me huge amount, 2,000 rupees. But who will buy a calculator which I made with the 2,000 rupees, right? It is worthless, right? When they look at the Korean calculator, much more efficient than your calculator for 400 rupees or 500 rupees, who will buy your calculator? Macromax is one example of this model. Look at this. We also tried to make mobile phones just like other countries, right? We can design the software, we can develop a software to be run into the mobile phones, but we are not strong in that area. Was it a success? The Macromax mobile phone, was it a success? It is not, because we are not strong in the hardware. We are not strong in that area at all. Okay, our strength lies in this software, right? Now, if that fellow, the Southeast Asian nation, any nation, Vietnam, then what is this? Korea, South Korea, North Korea, all these nations, Malaysia, these countries, if they're thinking of focusing their attention on the software, I don't think that they will be successful. They don't have that much efficient labor as we have, right? A software engineer you will get for just 50,000 rupees in India, but the same software engineer may be highly expensive in those countries. So better not to experiment with such things where you are not efficient. Focus on the areas where you're very strong. Okay, you focus in the areas where you're very strong, and you import those things in which you are not strong. You're not strong in the hardware. You import the hardware. You get the imported, products, right? And you export the things in which you are efficient. Okay, look at
Yes,
this.
sir,
Long,
we are very strong in manufacturing cars, especially in India of Tata brand.
yeah. Okay, this is another good example. We are strong. We are very good at making the motor cars, producing the motor cars. Okay, but we are not good at designing the motor cars. The design of the motor car is given by some other country, but they are not good at making these motor cars. You will hardly find any worker to work in the plants. Okay, with all difficulty, you have to get a worker or a technician or engineer in those countries where this design is made or prepared, right? They are good at design. We are good at making. We have enough manpower to make the cars. So much of manpower. They don't have manpower, and therefore they depend completely on robotics. Okay, so let them focus on the design, right? Let them depend on the technology in which they are very strong. Our strength is our human capital, right? We have rich human capital. Let us produce the motor cars, right? So let us focus on whichever area we are strong in. Let them focus on whichever area they are strong, right? And let us exchange our goods and services so that we are mutually benefited. This is comparative cost advantage. When you compare the cost of acquiring a product, okay, in two different countries, right? Better not import when it is costing more than what you can. This is what when Kamal Hassan went to London. I don't know. Somebody was saying Kamal Hassan went to London. Immediately in the hotel, he said, "Sir, which cosmetics, which talcum powder you want, which soap you want?" He said, "All foreign brands," he said. And when he said all foreign brands, they brought him Colgate toothpaste made in Bombay, right? And Pond's powder made in Bombay, okay, in Back Bay Reclamation, right? So then he said, yeah, this is all Indian. I said, I foreign. For London fellow, this is foreign only. Now India is foreign. So similarly, when you compare the goods, that's the cheapest good, okay, when you count in terms of pounds, right? The same may be, valuing or costing, considerably in India. When you compare, if the cost is more than your import, better you make your own within your own country. If making is expensive, better import. Making is expensive. Calculator making is 2,000. Whereas you get for 4,000 much more efficient. Better import. Don't waste your time. Don't go by false prestige. Okay. And we are also good at, don't say all that stuff. We are also good at this. We are also good at this. Don't say. But you also have your own strengths, right? You focus on in those strengths, right? I just gave you the idea. Then you can relate it to the sectors. We are strong in software. We are strong in making automobiles. Okay. We are strong in pharma. Let us focus in those areas, right? And medicines, no country can give the tablets or the drugs at the price which we are giving. No country can give. All other countries' drugs are expensive than the drugs made in India, tablets of medicine, whatever. Okay, that's our strength, right? Assumptions of absolute advantage. Okay, now there is a Latin, yes, saying, what is that? Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus. I think the mathematics students or the physics students know it. Ceteris paribus. Economic students know it. What is that, sir? Ceteris paribus. Other things remain constant, or keeping these assumptions in view. Okay, this theory, proves valid. What are the assumptions? Yes, sir. I want one by one to read it. This is, when I'm asking you to read it, I'm not making it. Am I making you kids? No, please don't misunderstand me that I'm making you kids, right? It is to, instead of me going monotonous, it is not that easy to listen to a lecture continuously. Instead of going monotonous, I just want you to just participate. That's the only reason, that so that you can get rid of some boredom and sleepiness. Right. Kiran Kumar. Mr. Kiran Kumar, can you read the first point, sir?
Sir, actually, I'm in office. I'm not carrying the.
Okay. Some people may be outside just listening. Then who has Rebecca? Miss Rebecca?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. You can go ahead.
Okay. Assumptions of the absolute advantage theory. Smith assumed that the cost of the commodities were computed by the relative amounts of labor required in their respective production processes.
Okay.
So I have to study the remaining?
Okay. Yeah, look at this. The assumption is labor required in the respective production process. Okay, relative amounts are calculated as per the money value of that country. That's what he says. The country's currency is taken where this production takes place. Next. Go ahead.
Sir?
Go ahead.
He assumed that labor was mobile within a country but immobile between countries.
Yeah, labor was mobile within the country and immobile between the country. If labor is mobile, what happens? This theory proves invalid, right? That's what's happening. Earlier, to get the work done, companies used to come to India, okay, and get the work done. And they used to pay small salaries here, right? And in the due course, what happened? They said, hey, look at this. Why didn't you come to America and then do what you're doing here, right? And, the labor became mobile. When the labor becomes mobile, then where is the question of this theory proving right or valid? No, labor is immobile. Labor should be immobile. Go ahead.
He took into consideration a two-country and two-commodity framework for his analysis.
Two countries, two commodities. There's one product I'm strong in. I'm country A. And your country B, and you're strong in B product. You give your B, I will give my A. Okay. And I will save my time, okay, from producing B product because you are producing it for me. You will also save the time and energy and resources, okay, by not producing product A because I'm producing it for you and supply. Okay, go ahead.
He implicitly assumed that any trade between the two countries considered would take place if each of the two countries has an absolutely lower cost in the production of one of the commodities.
Yeah, if the production cost is very low, then they would not even consider this. There is no question of comparative cost here. There is no comparison of the cost. Okay, this theory is invalid. Okay, that's it. Yeah, this is what Taiwan, rice. Okay, Taiwan, the rice, 30. Okay, output per manpower, man hours per unit of output. Rice, for producing rice, you need 60 man hours. Okay, in Taiwan. For electronic chipboards, they just take 30 man hours, right? Whereas India takes just 18 man hours to produce rice. Okay, and for the electronic chipboards, it takes 71 hours. My goodness. You can save so much if you concentrate yourself in the rice production, while you can get the things in electronics chipboards from Taiwan. Get the electronic chipboards from Taiwan, right, and supply your rice to them, right? Your manpower is efficient in rice production, their manpower is efficient in electronic chipboards, right? Let us say if India's manpower for rice is, let's say, 8, okay, and Taiwan's also is 8 for rice production. Is there a comparative cost advantage? There's no advantage for any country. Okay. And likewise for electronic chipboards, both the countries incur 30 man hours. Is there a comparative cost advantage? You know, comparative cost advantage works when I'm interested, when I'm benefited and you're also benefited. It is win-win. It is for both the countries and both the parties, right? This is comparative cost theory. Implications. What are the implications of this theory? What are the implications of this theory? Both the countries can have more qualitative products and services, right? And the living standards of both the countries will be improved, right? And inefficiency in the areas where you're inefficient, you need not waste your resources there. And there is a global quality, global effectiveness, global efficiency, and increased trading happens. Okay. And then you also have the global labor productivity. You're using, let's say, if there's an order for rice, okay, from India, what happens? More people you need. And more people, when you need, more people will be employed, right? And the manpower is being used. When manpower is used, there is less pressure on the government, okay, for incomes, right? So when you create jobs, automatically income levels increase. When income levels increase, there's a revenue to the exchequer. And also there's no demand from the government that to provide incomes, dole, that is, unemployment stipend and things like that. There's no pressure on the government. So these are the implications. Despite of these implications, there are some critics, and they say there's absolute advantage is just a theory. It is not practical. Some people say there are some close countries like North Korea and Iran, okay, and Cuba. These are some of the few countries which are very closed, right? And you don't know what's happening in that country, and the people in that country are not allowed to see what's happening outside their country, right? And how this comparative cost works for such countries. These people, these countries, they can make the goods and services, indigenously, whatever they need, from rice to the nuclear bombs, they can make on their own, right? However, whatever be the cost, that's what you can see in case of Kim, right? Kim Jong. And another one is country size. Country size, right? It is, it does not deal with country by country, okay, and specialization by specialization. It is generalized, okay, but the challenges and issues from country to country are different, right? How can you simply generalize it? And the resources also are, varied resources, right? There are, the technology, the labor, right? And the natural resources, all are different for different countries. And the theory ignores, that's what they say. The transportation costs, yeah, and the import duties, there is an MFN status required for you to import without any excise duty, right? And there are some trade barriers like this. How do you overcome these trade barriers, right? And the transportation costs, economies to scale of economies. Large scale economies reduce the cost of production, right? Right? Large scale production. What is economies to scale? Anything that reduces the average cost of production. The lowest average cost of production is what we call economies to scale, right? Now, what the critics say is, if you're producing largely, because you're producing little by little these chipboards, it is expensive for you. But you produce, those people are producing on large scale, therefore their cost of production is very less. And you also start producing large scale basis, so that you also can reduce the average cost of production of making the chips instead of buying from Taiwan. That's what they argue, right? So this is one argument, scale of economies. Absolute advantage for many products. Some countries may have absolute advantage for many products, okay? And you can go through that. Okay, let's have some questions, some self-assessment questions. What is absolute cost advantage, comparative cost advantage theory? Okay, explain the comparative cost advantage theory with its implications. Okay, that is one question which is very important. Purchasing power parity, comparative cost theory. Theory of comparative cost advantage. Yeah. There is one more gentleman. Yeah. There's one more, yeah. Absolute cost theory, comparative cost theory. Okay. They are two different, right? There is one more gentleman that's called Ricardo. Smith and Ricardo are the proponents of this cost advantage theories. Okay. Yeah. Then factor, yeah. Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Bertil-Ohlin is the man behind this. Okay. Eli Heckscher, Bertil-Ohlin. Okay. They have proposed a theory. And the theory has become Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Look at this. The first paragraph, I'm talking about the page number 125.
125.
Yes, sir. Page 125. Yeah. These are Swedish economists. Eli. I'm sorry. This is pronounced as Eli. Okay. In English, it is pronounced as Eli, but in Telugu, it is pronounced as Eli. Eli Heckscher, right? And Bertil Ohlin. Both of them are Swedish, and they have come out with another theory, fact endowment theory. Fact endowment theory. Okay. Can you please read it, Ayappa, Mr. Ayappa?
Yes, sir.
I think you already read, na?
Right, sir.
May Kiran, Kiran is not available, na? Kiran, Vignani,
Sir.
is it possible for you to read, or Ruxana? If the material is not with you, please let us know so that we don't disturb you. Because I do understand all of you are working.
Yes, sir.
If it is not with you, then just leave it. We'll skip you. We'll go to Ruxana.
Sir, I don't have.
You don't
Sorry,
have?
I don't have the material right now. I'm actually
Okay,
working.
okay. That's what.
Sorry about that.
Kiran? Okay, Kiran doesn't have, right? He already told. Then Rebecca only.
Yes, sir.
Either Mr. Ayappa or Mr. Rebecca. Yes, go ahead. Heckscher-Ohlin theory, the second paragraph.
Which one's a comparative advantage?
No. Heckscher-Ohlin theory.
No. So
Sir,
could you page number?
25.
125 page.
Okay. The Heckscher-Ohlin theory has been one of the most influential theoretical ideas in international economics. Most economists preferred the Heckscher-Ohlin theory to Ricardo's theory because it makes fewer simplifying assumptions. Because of its influence, the theory has been subjected to many empirical tests, beginning with a famous study published in 1953 by Vasily Leontief, winner of the Nobel Prize in Economics in 1973. Many of these tests have raised questions about the validity of the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Using the Heckscher-Ohlin theory, Leontief postulated that since the United States was relatively abundant in capital compared to other nations, the United States would be an exporter of capital-intensive goods and an importer of labor-intensive goods. To his surprise, however, he found that US exports were less capital-intensive than US imports. Since this result was at variance with the predictions of the theory, it has become known as the Leontief paradox.
Yeah, Leontief paradox. Paradoxical. What is that?
Sir?
Mr. Ayappa. Yes, ma. Thank you. What is paradox?
I don't know. Paradox meaning.
He's a, Giffen's paradox. Giffen's paradox. Have you ever heard of Giffen's paradox?
No.
No.
So I have heard, but I forgot it.
Okay. Giffen's paradox. There's one economist in again Britain. Okay, if I'm not wrong, Robert Giffen or so. As all of us know, prices for the goods will go up. Okay, when they are demanded more, right? The mass hardly earlier, before the COVID was introduced into this world, each face mask was around 5 rupees or 2 rupees, not more than 5 rupees. It was not more than 5 rupees. When there was a sudden demand for the face mask, Okay, what happened? Each mass was sold for 20 rupees. Where was for 5 rupees? Where is 20 rupees? Okay, it is sold for 20 rupees. Okay, and not only that, medicines also, right? And I'm told this remdesivir, this injection also, it was costing about how much, 1600 or so. Yeah, it was sold for 3000, 4000, 8000. Okay, there is no limit at all for the exploitation. So when the demand rises for the products, the price will be pushed up. That's a law of demand. When there's no demand, the price comes down. Okay, when there is more demand for the goods, the price goes up. And when there's more supply of the goods, the price comes down. When there is less supply of the goods, the price goes up. There's less supply of mass and more demand for the mass, resulting in price push up. But opposite is the reason for the price fall. Okay, but contrary to this, look at this. When high-tech city was newly formed, all the land prices of that area, Jubilee Hills, Banjara Hills, Madhapur, Kondapur, Gachibowli, it was all jungles. Okay, I used to get scared, beyond that road number 36. Road number 36 of Jubilee Hills was the last point of residence. Okay, beyond that, there was nothing, all jungles. So I was scared, so much scared to go beyond that point, right? And such a land, now it has become 1 lakh, 2 lakhs per square yard. What happened? There's a demand for the land. Therefore, the price for those lands pushed up. Okay. But contrary to this, the price will be, when there is a high price, the supply increases. When there's low price, the supply decreases. That is a supply rule also. Okay. Contrary to this natural phenomenon, okay, more the prices, I'm sorry, Ma, I think when there is more demand for the goods, okay, price will be pushed up. When the prices increase, what happens? When the prices increase, automatically demand comes down. Okay. And when the price goes down, again demand goes up. People, affordability increases. But contrary to this, in Britain, the demand for food increased so much during the World War. Okay, in spite of the increase in the food prices, people began buying, just like the face masks of these days. In spite of the increase in the price of the remdesivir, people began buying it. Okay, generally when there's a tomato price increase, then we consume less of tomato. When there's a high price in the non-veg, okay, people consume less of that. But contrary to this, in spite of continuous increase in the prices for the face mask, people began buying Fabiflu and remdesivir. What is that? That is a paradoxical situation. Actual law is, when there is a high price, people demand less. But contrary to this, people are demanding more and more in spite of the high prices. Okay, gold prices increase. Okay, in spite of that, people demand more and more. Diamond prices increase. More the prices increase for the diamonds, people demand more and more of that. Okay, so that is a paradoxical situation, contradictory to the natural law. Okay, people demand less when the price is high, but opposite takes place. That's paradox, right? Now let's see Leontief paradox. What is Leontief paradox? Okay. Yeah. To his surprise, however, he found that US exports were less capital intensive than US imports. Okay, he found that US exports were less capital intensive than US imports. Capital intensive, labor intensive, agricultural products. These are labor intensive. You need people, workforce to produce. Capital intensive, motor car. It's, more of capital is required for the machinery, right? It's all robotic. All robotic technology is capital intensive. You need just very less, human interference, right? So let me read the full one, what Rebecca read. Can you repeat, Rebecca? Not the full paragraph. Using Heckscher-Ohlin theory from there.
Okay, sir. Using the Heckscher-Ohlin theory, Leontief postulated that since the United States was relatively abundant in capital compared to other nations, the United States would be an exporter of capital-intensive goods.
Stop there.
Yes.
They have more money. Therefore, they will naturally produce capital-intensive goods. Okay. So they will produce capital-intensive goods and export. Their exports, capital-intensive goods export should be more. Okay. And then there will be imports. What imports? There will be labor-intensive imports. But contrary to this, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then importer of labor-intensive goods. To his surprise, however, he found that US exports were less capital-intensive than US imports. Since this result was at variance with the predictions of the theory, it has become known as the Leontief paradox.
Yeah, Leontief paradox. Just mark it, maybe a short question. Leontief paradox. Yeah. So we'll stop here. Okay, as we are running out of time, we'll stop here and ask for the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, and you speak any question, you take any paragraph of this material and I raise the question, I will explain to you. Take any paragraph, any question from this material and speak, I will answer. Yes, sir. No questions?
No, sir.
No
There are no
questions,
questions.
sir.
No, sir. Okay.
There are no questions. Okay, then we will proceed then. If you are not tired, we'll proceed. Yeah. Rebecca, second paragraph of factor endowment theory. Can you please repeat that once again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. The Heckscher-Ohlin theory has common sense appeal. For example, the United States has long been a substantial exporter of agricultural goods, reflecting in part its unusual abundance of arable land. In contrast, China excels in the export of goods produced in labor-intensive manufacturing industries such as textiles and footwear. This reflects China's relative abundance of low-cost labor. The United States, which lacks abundant, low-cost labor, has been a primary importer of these goods. Note that it is relative, not absolute endowments that are important a country may have larger absolute amounts of land and labor than another country, but be relatively abundant in one of them.
Their land is much bigger. United States land is much bigger. Okay, cultivable land is much bigger than China. But they don't have the number of people to cultivate that land. So therefore, though they are surplus though they are in abundance for the agricultural produce, okay, in America, these people, because they don't have food grains, okay, but for other things, textiles and other labor-intensive products, okay, they have to depend on China because China is largely thickly populated country. Okay, so therefore they have to depend on China. Therefore, go ahead.
Sir?
Did you complete it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Note that it is relative, not absolute. Endowments are important. A country may have larger absolute amounts of land and labor than other country, but be relatively abundant in one among them. They have land, okay, they have labor, but relative, when you compare the land, China is a big country, America is a big country, right? That's their strength geographically. But when you compare both the countries, which country has more labor? China has more manpower. Okay, China tries to capitalize on this. My concern for a long time for this country is this. I think I told you already, right? This country's leaders are not planning for making use of rich human capital that this country possesses. The country has nearly 35 to 40% of youth, and it is much bigger than the 40%, means 40 crores. 40 crores is much bigger than any of the developed nation which can shake the world. But we are so visionless. We are not planning how to make use of this rich kids, youth, kids with rich talents. All right, so we are not using it. Right, China is using it. That's one learning that we have. That's one Kosamerupu we have. Right, so we will stop here then. We will stop, okay, and then go to the next theory. And I have few more points in currency I had to speak on. Okay, I will just try to speak on those currency exchange rate system, then close it tomorrow. Yes, sir. We'll close it, except you have the doubts. Okay. There's nothing to speak. If you have nothing to speak, you can exit. If you have something to speak, you can ask me. I will keep asking the doubts. I'll keep answering the doubts. Sorry.
Nothing, sir. We don't have any doubts.
Yeah, if you don't have, you can exit, sir. Okay, I'm not asking.
Yes.
I'm not anything now. Just I'm stopping it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Kiran, anything to say?
I'm leaving.
Okay. Good day.